it's all because of my friend and the video that we made together, because that video has, last time I checked, like 4.3k views. So for all the people that are subscribed from that video, welcome. And I know I didn't post last week, sorry, but the main reason is because of school, and I also was really excited to do this video, so I did a lot of information on it, or research on it, to give it the best effect, I guess. And it is a true crime story. I know that's kind of weird for an ASMR video, because like ASMR is supposed to be soothing, and yeah, and this is not, like, true crime isn't really soothing, I guess. I don't know, but I've actually gotten into a lot of true crime recently. Like, I've always liked it, but I've been listening to this podcast called Crime Junkie on Spotify, and I love it. I started listening to it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I've already listened to about, I don't know, maybe, I think at least like 30 of their episodes. So yeah, that inspired me to do this video. So enough, just, well, I mean, I'm going to be talking more, but let's just go ahead and get on to the story. The story that I am going to be talking about, which I guess is kind of more of an uncommon one, that's why I decided to do it, is about a girl named Angela Somata. I'm not sure if I say that right, but I have all of my notes right here. It is about 3.5 pages worth, so I hope this video isn't too long. So yeah, they're about this big, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me. But this is mainly gonna be a talking video. I might do a little bit of something like that while I'm talking, but I don't know. Let's start with the story. So Angela Somata was a 20-year-old girl attending the Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. She was in a sorority and studied computer science and electrical engineering. So obviously she had a great life. She was very smart, very pretty, very beautiful. I'll insert clips or little thingies, little pictures of the people that I'm going to be talking about, which is 5, but one, I don't have a picture of them, but they aren't too important. So yeah, she had a great life, and it's very sad that she was taken from this world, because she could have done so much. She was found dead on October 13th, 1984, with many stab wounds, and she was raped. On the night of October 12th, she went out with 2 of her friends, one female, one male, to a state fair. And they stayed out till about midnight, a little after midnight. And she was very friendly, which could be how she met her killer, but who knows. But yeah, the friends reported her as being very friendly. She talked to everyone like she knew them. So yeah. And around 1 a.m. she dropped her 2 friends off at their houses and went over to her boyfriend's house to say goodnight, which that makes sense. Because she probably hadn't seen them, because I think I read somewhere that he was like working. That's why he didn't go to the state fair with her. So yeah, she went over to his house, said goodnight, and went home. Around 1:45 a.m., the boyfriend got a call from Angela saying that there was a man that wanted to come into her house, use her phone, use the bathroom, and it was not made clear on whether or not she let him in or he just forced his way in. We don't know. A little after that, Angela was like, I'll call you back later. Hung up. After probably about 10 minutes, there was no call back. So the boyfriend went over to the house and knocked on her door, and there was no response. And the door was locked, so he couldn't get in there either. He had to call the cops, which they arrived at 2:17 a.m. and knocked down the door and found her body. Very sad, yes. Do this while I flip the page. Oh. Okay. The boyfriend was cleared. I could not find out why, but he was. They did come up with another suspect very fast, and it was actually the male that Angela went out with on the 12th. His name is Russell Buchanan, and he was 23 at the time, and he lived about 5 blocks away from Angela's condo, which I'm thinking is probably one of the main reasons they suspected him at first. There is one more person that you need to know about before I start getting into more about the story. Her name is Sheila Wysocki. I do not know how to say her last name. And she was Angela's college roommate. The cops had Sheila help them try and be in contact with Russell, question him. And the cops encouraged her to talk to him and try and find out if he had anything to do with Angela's death. So I guess she would constantly ask him about it, what he was doing that night, and his story stayed the same every time. It never changed. I don't know what the story was. I'm guessing it's just she dropped me off at my house, she went home, the end. And they actually went to dinner together once. So the cops obviously did not believe him. They had him come in for a lie detector test, and I don't know if he passed or failed. I'm thinking that he passed. And they questioned him many times. Russell did eventually stop cooperating with the cops and lawyered up, which to me makes sense because he was being, I don't know how to put it, like they thought he murdered someone and basically had no evidence against him. So I mean, if he didn't do it, then yeah, to me it would make sense that he would stop cooperating, because he's like, I told you I didn't do it. So yeah. And since in 1984 there wasn't a thing like DNA testing and all of that, and the only evidence they had was DNA from Angela's rape kit and her fingernails. And since they had no way to test that the case went cold for a very long time. Sheila, the roommate, I think they were very good friends too, was still very determined to find out who the killer was, get justice for Angela. And she actually became very good friends with one of the detectives on Angela's case. But that didn't really help her much. Oh, I'm sorry. That didn't really help her much. Because after the case had went cold, she was trying to get this detective to help her, and they blew her off. And she had called several times over a 20-year period. Sheila believed she called at least 700 times over that time period. And in 2004, she was still obviously very determined, and she studied and studied and studied and got a license to become a private investigator. She did this because she thought the cops would take her seriously. They didn't. They still thought she was crazy, but they were so sick and tired of her that they reopened the case, and the case was passed on to a female detective, and she took it very seriously. The evidence that I mentioned earlier, they found it because they thought that it got lost in a flood, but apparently it didn't. So they found that, and now that I think the police put in a request to get it tested in 2008, so I'm guessing they found it around 2008. And obviously they now have DNA testing, that is a thing, so they did that, and the results came in 2009. Testing takes a long time, if you don't know that. When the results came, the detective called Sheila and was like, "We got him." Sheila said she thought the detective would say Russell's name because she had been told that whole time that Russell was it. He killed her. So turns out the DNA did not match Russell. It matched a man named Donald Best. And Sheila called him the Beast because at the time of when Angela was murdered, he was a serial rapist let out on parole. So Sheila traveled 650 miles to see this trial happen and see Angela get justice after 20-something years. Donald was sentenced to death in 2010 for a crime he committed in 1984. DNA testing came to the U.S., America, I guess, in 1987, but obviously it wasn't super advanced. But I think that in at least the 2000s, if they had taken Sheila seriously, they could have caught this killer like 10 years earlier. And obviously, they wouldn't have troubles with the DNA, because if that detective found it, then it wasn't lost. So, they could have caught this man 10 years earlier, and we don't know if he killed someone else or raped someone else in that 20-year time period. That is a lot of years. We have no idea what he did, what he didn't do. I don't think he admitted to anything else. But after he was convicted, Sheila planned on retiring her private investigator license. But she had been getting so many emails, so many phone calls from people whose like family members' cases went cold and wanted her help. So she had said that she wasn't going to retire just yet. And the article I'd read was written in 2018, published in 2018. And I don't know if she's retired yet. So, also after the trial, Sheila did contact Russell, the man that went with Sheila the night before she died. And they met up. They went to Angela's grave, and Sheila had said that he was one of the most incredible human beings ever that she had ever talked to. And Russell did thank Sheila for being so persistent with Angela's case, because now he's free. Thank God for him. And yes, like I said, I'll have pictures somewhere when I talk about the people that I did. If you guys have any, I don't know if you would have any questions or anything, but I think I'm going to put the articles in the description box that I used, if I can find them again. But if you are interested in this case, then you can always just search it up too. If you can find more information than I did, that's great. Also, let me know if I should do another one of these. If you guys don't like it, then obviously I'm not gonna do it again. But yeah, or if you want me to do it again, give me like some pointers of what I should do next time, what I can do better. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much